In this subsection, you are going to understand how to draw a cumulative frequency curve. Here we have a question which shows the arrival time in minutes, and also we have the frequency, and you are required to work out the cumulative frequencies and plot the graph. So we have the cumulative frequency column here which we need to work out. So in developing the cumulative frequency, what you do is start with the first frequency, which is 4, and what you do a cumulative, you do a summation of the frequencies here. So we would have 4 plus 7, that gives us 11, and then we have 11 plus 9, that gives us 20, and then you add 20 plus 42, that is 62, and then we have 62 plus 18, that gives us 80. So whenever you're doing your cumulative frequency column, it's very important to know that this final number here, 80, should be the number of families asked in the question. So that's 80. So if you do not get 80, it means that you have made a mistake. Now let us draw the curve. Now what you would have done, you'd have drawn an axis in minutes, and we draw our cumulative frequency column on the vertical here. The highest frequency there is 80, so you make a scale from 10 straight up to 80. Now it's very important for you to note that you use the upper limits in the interval here. You use upper limits, so I use 20, 40, 60 and 80 to 100. And what you do, you plot less than 20, not exactly 20, but about say 19.5. so you have to do a rough estimate of where you think 19.5 would be. So it's not 20, but it's less than 20. So anything less than 20 is going to be somewhere near 20 there. 19.5, and it's 4. 4 is about somewhere halfway. The 10, 5 is halfway, so 4 is somewhere here, less than 20. And then we have less than 40, it's 11. So less than 40, it's about 39.5, it's 11, 10, 11 is here, so you have to use your own judgment. And then we have less than 60, it's 20. So less than 60, we go up to 20, so about somewhere there. And then we have less than 80, it's 62. So less than 80, it's about 79.5, it's 62. 61 would be somewhere, 62 would be there. And then we have less than 100, it's 80. Less than 100, it's 80. So less than 100, it's 80. Okay, and that's the curve. So let us join the curve there. So we have drawn our cumulative frequency curve. Now also in this lesson, what I'm going to do a different question, but the question requires you to do like the median, the lower quartile and upper quartile. So let us go to that question now. So here we have a cumulative frequency curve drawn, and you're required to find the median, the lower quartile, upper quartile and interquartile range. So I want you to pay very close attention. So if you look at the cumulative frequency here, the cumulative there is 90. So the median is going to be 45. Half of 90 is 45, which is in between here. So look at what I'm doing. So you're going to look for 45, and you're going to use your ruler, and you're going to draw. So 40 is here, 42, 44, 45 is midway downwards. So in this case, the height is 42, 44. Okay, so the median height there would be 44 centimeters. The lower quartile is a quarter of 90. So a quarter of 90 is gonna be somewhere down here. 4 into 90, that's about 22.5 roughly. So we have 20 here, 22, 24, 22.5 would be somewhere here. And you read downwards. So that gives us 30, 32, 34, about 35 for the lower quartile. And the upper quartile is 3/4 of 90. So 67.5. So we have 60 here, 62, 64, 66, 67.5 is somewhere there. And then we read across. So in this case we have 40, that's about 50. So I would say 50 for the upper quartile. Now the interquartile range is the difference between the lower quartile and the upper. So if we take 35 from 50, that gives us 15. So let us check our answer, and if you note there, everything is correct, and that's how we do the median, lower quartile and upper quartile, and also interquartile range from the graph. So let's just do a quick revision here. The median is half of 90. So you look at the cumulative frequency curve, half of 90 is 45. So you look for 45, which is somewhere here, and you read downwards. So that gives us about 44. The lower quartile is quarter of 90, which is about 22.5. So 20 is here, 22.5 would be somewhere here, and you read downwards, and that gives us about 35. And then the upper quartile is 3/4 of 90, which is 67.5. So 60 is here, 62, 64, 66, 67.5, and you read across and you read downwards, and that gives us about 50. Now the interquartile range is the difference between the lower quartile and the upper quartile. So 35 from 50 gives us 15, and that's the final answer. Thank you for listening, and I hope you do understand how to draw a cumulative frequency curve and also answer the questions as it relates to median, lower quartile, upper quartile and interquartile range.